We can start our session. Just a second. Right, we are in discussion of data warehousing fundamentals. In those also, we covered about what is a data warehouse, what is the model of a data warehouse, and what kind of process we have in data warehouse, and how we can implement a data warehouse like top-down and bottom-up approaches. And we are in discussion of data modeling. Under this data modeling also, we are in the phase of logical data modeling. Once the logical data modeling is completed, then we'll go for physical data modeling, then we'll go for ETL basics also. Here in logical data modeling also, as we discussed in last session, there are two separate modeling processes is there. One is called ER modeling, that's called entity relationship diagrams, and next one is dimensional modeling is there. The dimensional modeling, whatever we have, we are discussing that one. In dimension modeling, we are going to identify three things. One is called dimension tables, fact tables, and facts also. Right. We are in discussion of those all the dimension tables. In those also, we covered about a basic dimension table type, that is nothing but a slowly changing dimension table. Right. Let me give one more example for this slowly changing dimension table, how to implement this as CD in our project. And again, okay, let me discuss over 1 or 2 minutes about this one, then we'll go for other dimension tables which are there while implementing any warehouse. Right. Just a second. In these dimension tables, whatever we are implementing, there are multiple types of dimension tables there. If you remember, what is the meaning of this slowly changing dimension table means? If a particular dimension table, a single attribute or multiple attributes are changing slowly based on a time is called slowly changing dimension table. Okay, means I am loading the data into one warehouse table. While loading the data into one warehouse table, the data whatever we have in that particular warehouse table will maintain history. If it maintain history kind of thing, if it maintain only current data, if it maintain updated data, then we can simply call as a slowly changing dimension table based on a time wise. Okay, if you remember, there are three types of implementations: the type 1, type 2, type 3. We already discussed about type 1 and how to maintain type 2 also, and type 3 as well. Type 3 means it's simply going to maintain only partial history. Partial history means current data plus previous one. That is about the slowly changing dimension table. Right. In today, we are going to discuss about other dimension table whatever there. That one dimension table is nothing but a yep. Otherwise, okay, Teja, can you please mute all people? We're getting some disturbance. Or okay, please mute you guys yourself because I don't have permission to mute. Okay, thanks. Now I think it's better. In case if you have any questions, please unmute and then you can ask. Right. What is this particular role-playing dimension table, and what kind of projects and what kind of situations we can see these kind of role-playing dimension tables in our projects means? Here role-playing dimension table is a nothing but a one single dimension table is there in our warehouse. That dimension table data we are representing as a two dimension tables. Let me give an example for that, then we can discuss definition. We are having a one dimension table in our warehouse. For example, the dimension table is completely maintained the all order data. Whatever the order data we have there, that order data we are simply going to maintain in a order table with along with receiver data also. Here order data means, for example, customer called to the any of the order department and they are giving orders, what are the products they required, and what are the deliveries also they did by the that shipping department, they also maintain their delivery information also same, means customer order information, customer receive information, both are in single table itself. Because of same data is maintained on single table itself, means both the related data, while generating any report for the end user, sometimes when we want to get the order reports, we are also getting the received data reports also. Means there is a mismatch is there in the reports while generating. To avoid that reports mismatch, we want to separate out these two order and received data in two different dimension tables from one dimension table. But if you want to create this data into two different tables, is it better to create one more physical table in warehouse and we need to allocate some space? No. Instead of creating a separate table, instead of creating separate process for that one, it is better to create a kind of views in database. What is the meaning of view in database? A view is nothing but a logical table in database, right? We are going to create some kind of views in database. What are the views we created in database? Those will represent the data which is belongs to our primary. See, for example, this is actual order date table is nothing but actual dimension table. But here we are creating one more table that's called with the name received date. This received date is not a table, it's a view actually. While generating any kind of process with this, okay, a view here, that view whatever we are getting here, the view we are going to mention all the received data only with the same column names. When we want to get any report from the received data, we simply generate a report from the received data by using this view. But when we execute any query to fetch the data from this particular report or something, we simply use this received data table data whatever we have in separate reports. Order data we are going to have separate report. Means if any particular schema, a single table we are representing as two tables, that is simply we can call as a role-playing dimension table. If we are representing one table as a two tables in any schema implementation, that process is called role-playing dimension table. Means same table we are representing as multiple number of times. That's what this table whatever we have here is nothing but it's playing a vital role in our business. That's what we can simply call as the table which is creating here is nothing but a role-playing dimension table. But is it a mandatory to create role-playing dimension tables in every project? For example, if it is SCD, to maintain the history, most of dimension tables which are there in our project. For example, our project is having 20 dimension tables. Then obviously, we are going to maintain SCD implementation for those 20 if it is all the tables want to maintain history. But when it comes to the role-playing dimension table, it's not mandatory to maintain the role-playing dimension table in our project, but depend upon situation. 1 second, I'm getting call from other people. Sorry. That is nothing but a role-playing dimension table which we are going to implement in warehouse. Right. This is okay. A definition of this one, a simple example. But when we go for a project, how we are going to implement a role-playing dimension table in that project we can. And next dimension table we have here is nothing but a conformal dimension table. What are the dimension tables we are going to implement in any warehouse? Just let me open one project related dimension tables document. Just a second. If I open this project related documents, whatever we have with along with the dimension tables, whatever it may be, and along with the fact tables, whatever we have. See, in this one, a few dimension tables is there, few fact tables there. For example, assume one dimension table is there. Anything. For example, this is a one dimension table, and this is the above one is also one dimension table. When it comes to this is the, for example, one dimension table organization customer is on dimension table. Can I call this dimension table in a conformal dimension table? Or based on what basis we call the one dimension table is nothing but a slowly changing dimension table? If that particular table inside what are the columns is there, if those columns data is changing slowly based on time, that we can simply call as a SCD. But in SCD we have three approaches, type 1, type 2, type 3. In the same way, we have role playing means if the same table representing as 2 or 3 tables, we can simply call it role playing. But when I am going to call one particular dimension table is nothing but a conformal dimension table. If a particular dimension table is sharing by multiple fact tables or multiple data marts in our business, that simply we can call as a conformal dimension table. Just we can see some conformal dimension tables here. See here. This is, for example, Hue Cust is one dimension table. This is sharing with this table and this table, this table, see the links, right? Then I can call this particular dimension table nothing but a conformal one. What is the meaning of conformal one? First, let me give example, then we can go for actual example. What is the meaning of conformal one in the sense? I have one table, for example, customer address is a table which is maintaining all the addresses. When customer opens an account, his address information is maintained in address table. At the same time, customer is taking credit card today. Then again we need to maintain address. At the same time, customer is also applying for loan. When customer is also applying for loan as well, then we want to maintain account information also. Means see address information, sorry. All the particular departments, whatever we have, loan department, credit card department, and account opening, okay, this is called savings bank department, whatever the account processes we are doing here, these three department people will access the data from address table. Means I have one dimension table in my warehouse. That dimension table data can be accessed by multiple fact tables and multiple data marts. Then that particular dimension table, whatever we having here to access by multiple schemas, that particular fact table we can simply call as a, sorry, that particular dimension table we can simply call as a conformal dimension table. Just let me show you a common example. We can also go for specific example as well. Here we have a sales schema, means sales fact table is there. We have, for example, one dimension table called product. When we have a one dimension table called product here, the product dimension table is having product key, product description, brand description, category description, all the columns in there. And we have one fact table, that's a sales fact table. This sales fact table with the date, product key, these are multiple dimension tables surrounded by that one. But the same product dimension table, whatever we are using sales fact table, in the same project, in the same module, we are also using the same particular dimension table in inventory fact table also. Now, what is the product dimension table we have here? That we can simply call as a conformal dimension table, because same dimension table data we are using in multiple fact tables. Okay, most of dimension tables whatever we have in our warehouse are conformal only, because they are going to be shareable by multiple data marts or multiple fact tables in our projects. Right? That is a simple example for conformal. Even anything. One particular dimension table is there, that data can be shareable to multiple fact tables, then I am going to call that is nothing but a conformal dimension table. Whatever the examples we can see, here all are nothing but some of the dimension tables, means final schema. After implementing the physical data model, this is the final schema here. In this final schema, for example, if you observe one particular dimension table, this dimension table have a multiple related to the multiple other things also. Such a kind of dimension tables are nothing but a conformal. Okay. We will see when we are discussing about in last classes, a project information, there we will discuss about how to use these conformal dimension tables and how to create by using our data stage jobs also. Right now, we are discussing only a few basic definitions before jumping into actual tool. That's about the conformal dimension table. Next, we have one more dimension table also there, that simply we can call it a fast changing. While implementing a data warehouse, some data which is coming from our source system or our front end, the data is nothing but which is going to maintain very rapidly changing information. This is quite opposite to our slowly changing dimension table. If you open the slowly changing dimension table, in the dimension table, a single attribute or multiple attributes are going to change slowly based on time. But in fast changing dimension table, it is completely reverse. Especially if you go for the finance projects, securities data, stock market data, and exchange rates data, that data we are going to maintain in fast changing dimension table, because the data is going to be changed rapidly over a business time. If you find in our business, which is the data is rapidly changing over a business from business time, based on circumstances, based on the time frames, that kind of data we are going to maintain separate dimension table. That is nothing but a fast changing dimension table or rapidly changing dimension table also. We can see these kind of dimension tables also in some projects, not on every project. Especially in finance and insurance, kind of domains, we can see most of time this fast changing dimension table. Here in the fast changing dimension table, we are going to maintain the columns which are changing rapidly over a time. That data we are going to maintain as a history kind of thing to populate that into the warehouse table. That's also one type of dimension table is also there. But we can see this kind of thing in finance domains. I'll show you. Because see, one more thing you need to remember here. When we see the name of the dimension table or when we see the attributes of the dimension table, you will not be able to understand whether this is a conformal dimension table or a Jenk dimension table. For example, we have hue cuts or hue segment number relationship is on dimension table is there. Anything, when you see any type of dimension table, whatever we have, just let me open it. See here, hue organization is one of the dimension tables there. But by seeing the dimension table name and by seeing the what are the attributes is there inside the dimension table, are we able to understand is it a conformed or Jenk or fast changing or rapidly changing or this one means no. By seeing the data whatever we have inside that particular dimension table, we can understand that yes, this is a particular dimension table which we can implement for specific functional, that is maybe conformed or Jenk or fast changing or role playing, whatever it may be. But by seeing the naming standard, because every project the naming standards will vary from project to project. While preparing by the molding team, they will change the naming standards of this particular dimension tables also. Right? This is about the whatever we have in dimension tables category. In dimension tables, whatever we have under this, we have fast changing and role playing, and one more is nothing but a degenerated. Also, we have one more is also there apart from degenerated. That's called Jenk dimension table. What is this Jenk dimension table? If a particular dimension table maintains the unnecessary data or Jenk data, which is we identified in our business, such a dimension table we simply call as a Jenk dimension table. Yes, we can see some dimension tables in our projects are with a Jenk. Some unwanted data will be there. What are the unwanted data we are having there? That unwanted data, whatever we mention in any warehouse, that unwanted data we can simply specify, and that unwanted data, whatever we have, that is not useful even for business analysis also. We are going to maintain the data in separate table, but the data will not be useful. We can simply think that there is a garbage data. If we identify any garbage data in our table, we are going to maintain that in separate table. But nowadays, most of projects we are not implementing separate table for that in warehouse. Instead of maintaining separate table for that in warehouse, we are maintaining to send feedback to front end this garbage data in separate files. This simply can call as a error handling files. What are the errors we identify in our data? That data we are going to reject, and we are going to maintain that data in separate files. Those files, what we are going to, after doing the today's cycle processing, we will send back that information to front end again, saying that we received this many number of files today, or this many number of data, this much number of data we received today. After processing, we identify that these records are not a correct records, or a format of the data is not correct, whatever it may be. Reason. We are also going to mention the reason of the particular rejection, and we will send back to front end saying that this is a garbage data. But in olden days, most of people implemented this separate dimension table called Jenk. But nowadays, we can't see this kind of dimension tables in our most of products. We simply maintain the data into the files. The file will be attached into a mail. A mail will be sent back to front end when any case of records got rejected into reject file. That's called Jenk data. If you identify any Jenk data, automatically a mail will be sent to the team saying that, okay, today we identify this many number of records as junk records. Those we are not processing into the warehouse. Actual tables, okay, confirmed other city. Those tables we are maintaining this data in the particular file. That is called junk dimension table. We are also going to maintain a separate set of tables that is nothing but unwanted data. But nowadays most of projects you can see files instead of tables for this process especially. And one more table is also there, that is called degenerated dimension table. Actually, this is not a dimension table. What is the name we are calling here? Degenerated. It's a fact table. But when a fact table is going to become a dimension table, it's called degeneration. It's not a promotion, say degrading. When a dimension table means a fact table, whatever we have is going to be converted into degenerated dimension table. For example, one fact table is there, that the fact table having a multiple transactional data. Just let me show you. Assume that this is a fact table surrounded by n number of dimension table in this particular schema. What are the fact table having data? Generally, the fact table is going to maintain composite foreign keys and collection of facts. I'll explain, okay, because still we did not discuss about the fact table. We'll discuss. But in fact table, I have some keys is there: product key, brand key, category key. Okay, like this we have multiple key columns is there. If each and every key column, whatever we have in fact table, if there is a corresponding dimension table, then there is no issue. That is normal fact table only. For example, here we have a time key. The corresponding time dimension table is there. Inside the time dimension table, we have a primary key called time key. Here we have item key. We have corresponding dimension item. Branch key, we have a branch. Location key, we have location. Right? Like this, what are the key columns is there? If those key columns are directly communicated with any of the dimension table, no issues. But we have sometimes there are few extra key columns also we can identify in fact tables. Those key columns are not present in any one of the dimension tables. If there is no corresponding primary keys are present in any one of the dimension table, even though we have some foreign keys present in fact table, then this particular fact table we are going to convert as a one dimension table, because of there is no corresponding dimensional keys present in dimension table. This dimension table we simply going to call as the name degenerated dimension table. Okay. What is the purpose of this degenerated dimension table? Why we need to implement separately this degenerated dimension table means there are some purpose. Generally, if I know one single information, by using that single information, I want to track my total data. It's a kind of simple tracking purpose. If you want to track any particular information by using a single information, I know only product ID. Based on product ID, what is the brand, what is the category, what is the unit, like this, all the data related to that particular product if you want to track. We are also going to maintain separate columns in fact table. But those columns are not direct communication with any of the dimension table, maybe indirect. In such a kind of situation, we are going to call that particular fact table is nothing but a degenerated dimension table. Okay. In our project, sometimes we need these degenerated dimension tables to track especially when we are working for any market situation. Okay. Handling when we are doing a forecasting, especially for forecasting of any business, we are going to use this kind of degenerated dimension table for forecasting of their business, what kind of data we are going to expect, and what kind of business situation we are expecting to arrive in coming future, what kind of plans they have to overcome this. So all the data when we want to maintain, we need separate table that's called degenerated. This is actually a fact table which is going to demoted into dimension table. Okay, these are the major dimension tables which we are going to use in data warehouse implementations while implementing for any project. Right, any questions here? Fine. If there is no questions, then we'll go for the what are the other tables is present in my data warehousing implementation. That is, okay, In dimensional data modeling, we discuss up to now is only dimension tables. Okay, there are multiple dimension tables there. I'll send you materials, okay, with all these theoretical definitions and this PPT also. While you are reading, okay, you can also go through that again and some other examples as well. But when we are discussing in a project, we can discuss, okay, clearly with project examples how to use the degenerate dimension table, conformal dimension table, JENC, and slowly changing like that. Right. This is about the dimension table which we are going to generally use in our projects. Next is a concept called fact table. But before going to the fact table, let me give an example of what is the meaning of fact. What are the facts, different kind of facts is there in any warehouse implementation. What is the meaning of a fact? If you are implementing any warehouse for any particular business, there are multiple types of facts is there, and there are multiple facts will be there. What is the meaning of fact means? A fact is a numerical value. Can I call every numerical value is a fact? No. A numerical value which is useful to do business calculations or which is impacting the business calculations, such a numerical value is only we can call as a fact. Just let me give an example. Today we went to our bank, we want to open an account. While opening an account, I filled an application form. That application has some application ID, and while filling an application, they give some kind of applicant ID. The applicant ID also numerical value. Once application is filled up and when we submitted, they entered my transaction details in the system. They got some transaction reference number. That's also numerical value. Are these three numerical values okay? One is nothing but a transaction ID or customer ID, and one more is applicant ID, application ID. Are these all the numerical values or facts? No. A numerical value which is impacting the business calculation. For example, in the same table we have interest rate is the one value. Interest rate is a value when I use that numerical value in any of my business calculations. Based on interest rate change, the amount will be changed, right? If for example interest rate is 12%, the amount whatever we are calculating is different, and if it is more than that, it will be different again. That is simply we can call as a fact. Okay, a numerical value which is useful for calculations of business, or which is useful for the any of the business decision making process as a numerical methodology, we can simply call that one as a fact. But facts are three types. What are those three types of facts is there? One is called additive fact. Second one is called semi-additive fact. Third one is called non-additive fact. When we can call one fact is nothing but additive fact. At what situation we can call a fact is nothing but additive fact? What is the meaning of additive fact first? We have some numerical value in our business. If I am able to use that numerical value across all the dimension tables in our schema, I have some numerical value we identified in fact table. I want to add that numerical value in my fact table. But with using of that numerical value, I can contact any of the dimension table. I can use that numerical value across any of the dimension tables. Such a kind of facts are nothing but additive facts. Like counts, customer counts, or retail sales in dollars, and total transactions amount. Such a kind of numerical values are generally used for any calculations which are there in any of the dimension tables. That simply we can call additive. Second fact table which we are generally going to use in the fact is nothing but a semi-additive. What is the meaning of this semi-additive fact? Semi-additive fact is nothing but some kind of facts is there, those we are going to use only in some situations in some kind of data. Just let me give a common example. Generally when we go for shopping, we can identify that there is a 50% discount, 30% discount, 40% discount, buy get one get like that. What is the meaning of that? The numerical value discount 30% is nothing but one fact. They will put in below some conditions apply in retail sector or something. Based on that, when we see the conditions, if you purchase more than 20,000 rupees or something, they want to give some 20% discount. Means here discount is a numerical value that we are going to apply while calculating interest rates or while calculating the amounts also. But this discount we are going to give only when certain condition is met. If that particular certain condition is not met as per terms and conditions of that particular product, we are not going to give the discount on the amount, right? This is called semi-additive. Only in few situations and for few records only we can apply this semi-additive fact. That is called semi-additive, right? We can see some other examples also later. In definitions, you can see simple example that is discount. You can understand that, okay, when we are purchasing any product, they are giving some discount. That numerical value we are applying only at some points, not in every day and every customer, every transaction also. Only few customers who are eligible to take that particular discount, for them only we are going to add the discount in the amount calculations. That's called semi-additive. And some kind of facts is also there, that's called non-additive facts. What is the meaning of this non-additive fact? We have some numerical measures. Those numerical measures, whatever we have in fact table, those numerical measures we are not going to use across any of the dimension tables. Like generally we can call some room temperature values, or okay, any other counts, furniture count, like that. There are some numerical value will be there, but those numerical values are not useful for any calculations. Such a numerical, okay, because of room temperature is high, is there any change in my amount in the bank account? Nothing. If room temperature is low, is there any change? Nothing. Right, okay, such a kind of numerical values also will be there sometimes, not every time. But if those numerical values, whatever we identified, if they are not useful for any calculations, while doing any business calculation, such a numerical values we are going to separately maintain one table is called, one separate category is called non-additive facts. Okay, this is about the what are the types of facts available in our warehouses, right? We know now what are the different type of dimension tables is there. We know what are the different type of facts is also there. Now we need to know, we need to understand. In third, after implementing dimension tables and identify, sorry, just a second. After identifying the dimension tables and facts, we need to create a fact table. What is the meaning of fact table? What type of data is there in a fact table? Fact table is a table which is going to maintain two types of data. One is the composite primary foreign keys and collection of facts. What are the foreign keys I am telling in fact table? Those will become a primary keys in corresponding dimension table. Those primary keys, whatever there in corresponding dimension table, will act as a foreign key in fact table. Just that's what I showed you. Just a second. See here. This is one fact table we have here. Surrounded by this particular fact table, n number of the dimension tables is there. Here in this particular fact table, there are multiple types of data is there. One is called composite foreign keys and collection of facts. Here composite foreign keys means what are the dimension tables are surrounded by this particular fact table. These dimension tables will have some primary key. That primary key will act as a foreign key in that particular fact table. If you see here, in time dimension table we have time key. Okay, that's indicating the quarter of the month, quarter of that particular year or something. And next is, okay, item key. If you go for item, what are the items we are purchasing? Each and every item has some item ID or item key. And branch key, what are the branch we are representing here? The branch information we are going to maintain branch key. And location is also one type of data we have here. That location related data we are going to maintain in location key, right? These are the four different key columns there. These are nothing but composite foreign keys. These are the foreign keys in fact table, but there is a corresponding dimension table we are going to maintain here. Why we are going to maintain this primary keys in fact table means in data warehousing process, there is no need to have direct communication with one dimension table to other dimension table. If we have all the dimension table, one direct communication from one dimension table to other dimension table, automatically we are going to identify some cycles. If you identify some cycle is going to form, that is not a data warehouse. To avoid those cycles, what we need to do is, we need to maintain a kind of table which is going to act as a bridge to communicate one dimension table to other dimension table. That table is nothing but a fact table. Because I want to get the branch wise data with corresponding items wise and okay with corresponding time frames also. In quarter one, what are the items we send into particular branch. If you want to know that kind of information, we need to get the data from time frames and we need to get the data from item table, we need to get the data from branch also. To communicate these three, what are the key columns is there in the tables? Those we are going to put as a keys in, foreign keys in corresponding fact table. When you are writing any SQL query or something, okay, select from that particular item table, join with this item table with this, okay, this branch table with the branch key, and get the branch details from this particular branch table by using this fact table. Fact table will act as a mediator or a kind of bridge to communicate one dimension table to other dimension table. Apart from foreign keys in fact table, what are other data will be there means some numerical measures. Those simply we can call it facts and some other measures also, measurable values also will be there in our fact table, right? If a particular table is having composite foreign keys and collection of facts, that is simply we can call it a fact table. Generally, these fact tables are used to act as a bridge to communicate one dimension table to other dimension table while forming any data warehouse implementation. Now we'll go for what are the different type of fact tables are present in our warehouse and what is the use of those are the fact tables. First, let me start with a simple fact table. There are totally 4 type of fact tables is there. In those, one is nothing but a factless fact table. What is the meaning of this factless fact table? See, actual types of fact tables are 4. One is factless fact table. Second one is called transactional fact table, periodic fact table, cumulative fact table. There are 4 different types of fact tables. Most of the time we can see in our warehouse. Right. But in those one, first what is the meaning of factless fact table? What is the use of this factless fact table? Here, factless fact table is a table which is going to maintain in our warehouses, but there is no facts is present. Only we are going to maintain foreign keys. If we have only foreign keys, is it be useful to do any calculations? Because if there is some numerical measures is there in fact table, then we can do the calculations, right? But we don't have any numerical measures in a particular fact table. If there is no measures in particular fact table, then the table which we are creating with only foreign keys is called factless fact table. These factless fact tables are generally used to do a kind of tracking. For example, I want to know what are the stock available in my store. That's called the products which did not sell to customers in the store. The meaning of that one is stock. If you want to identify the stock information, we need to communicate with the different departments, because today a manufacturing team developed some products and they are delivering stock, but already which are there in my store need to be delivered to some customer, because we need to communicate at the time some ordering team also, or shipment team. Like this, to get some particular information, to track some particular information here, we are going to communicate with multiple dimension table. Right here, if you see, we have one particular factless fact table. This factless fact table which is created from the actual fact table, it has only foreign keys. It doesn't have any kind of numerical measure. Such a kind of factless table is nothing but a factless fact table, which is covering some information. That's what we're simply going to call as a coverage factless fact table. Okay, this is about one of the type of factless fact table, and one more is called type of fact table. It's called event tracking. This is kind of tracking fact table. Just an example we specified is a student attendance. I want to know the attendance of a student, whether he is coming into college or university or not. Such a kind of example, what we are going to do is we are going to maintain a factless fact table which is having only keys. Those keys are used to communicate with the corresponding dimension table to get the corresponding information. If you want to do any kind of tracking or coverage information at a particular point, we use the best table we can create from normal dimension tables called factless fact table, right? Are we going to have factless fact tables in our project? Yes. That is depends on situation. We are going to maintain factless fact table, especially for kind of tracking and forecasting. Based on tracking, we can identify in future what kind of data we are going to maintain and what kind of process we are going to implement. Like we can also maintain all the data in fact class fact table. There is a fact table, but there is no fact. Means there is no numerical method. Only we have some key columns there. Such a kind of tables are nothing but a fact class fact table. Right. In tomorrow's session, we can discuss about the other fact class, other tables also, because today I did not intimate it to my next batch people. And they need to come at 7:45. Okay, actually they will come today at 7:30, but tomorrow we can discuss my time 6:45 to 7:45. Okay, I think they are already joining my link. I need to jump into the thing. If you have any questions, we can ask. These materials and everything, once you confirm, I'm going to send you guys. If you have any questions on this one, please let me know. Okay, fine then. Okay, there is no questions. One second, I'm not getting. Pawan, you're asking something?
No, not about this question. Something about the class on Saturday.
Pawan, I'm not able to hear you. You're talking or something.
So
if you have any questions, please ping me otherwise.
Okay, fine.
I'm not able to hear your voice. Are you in mute? In your end?
Remote mute.
Yep. On?
Yeah, yes.
You're asking something? Yep. Saturday, no problem. Saturday we can do one thing. Okay, we can set up an evening timings. That we can do. No. Morning timings we can set up an evening. That's not an issue. Okay, I'll send a schedule for you guys. Okay, what are the topics we are going to start? Because day-wise schedule also on every day what we are going to discuss, and based on that one we'll flow that one. And all Saturday or only one Saturday? Okay, no problem. Then no issues. Okay, in coming Saturday we can put morning only if required, because we want to cover more hours. Then we need some extra hours also, okay, to complete as early as possible. Okay, without any break. No problem. We'll plan, okay, according to that one only. For all the people, okay, then we can make it Saturday or Sunday, either morning or evening, more hours. Okay, nice. Any other questions by anyone? Okay then, fine. We'll meet tomorrow and we'll, okay, I'll join tomorrow exactly at 6:45 of my time. We can start our class without fail, okay.